Welcome. In front of me I have the brand new Google Pixel 7 Pro, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick overview. So let's just get straight to it. So one thing that Google copied from Apple was these amazing little pull tabs, so we don't need a knife of any sort, just rip it off. There we go. And we get straight to the phone. So there we go. As you can see, this is the white version, and it looks pretty slick. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the old school Apple, where it was coming, like the iPhones were coming more often in white colors, and it had similar kind of design language. So brushed, not brushed, just like aluminum or metallic sides, which you can see they are here, and just pure white back. So there we go, there's the phone. Then in the case we also have a charging cable, so Type-C to Type-C, and a dongle, or however you want to call it. So this is a Type-C to Type-A USB port. So this kind of could have been substituted by maybe something else, like for instance a conversion to a headphone jack, because I'm pretty sure more people might use a Type-C to headphone jack rather than as this. As an example, if you're planning to, I don't know, plug in a storage through USB, you have things like this. It takes USB-A and USB-C, and it works just well enough for both of them. So things like this kind of become obsolete. Anyway, so let's just eat that to the side and get a look at the phone. There's our nice looking phone. I'm gonna turn it on, and let's quickly go over the display, which is obviously the first thing that you get to see. So this is a 6.7 inch display with a resolution of 1440 by 3120. So basically a 1440p resolution. It's a LTPO AMOLED display. I believe LTPO probably just means that it is just a little bit curved. It's a 120 Hz display with HDR10 Plus certification, and typical brightness of 1000 nits and peaks at about 1500, so it gets pretty bright. Additionally, 88.7% screen to body ratio with 512 pixels per inch. So basically this screen right here is like just really good, one of the better ones on the market. Just quickly go through the setup. Now I'll mention that it seems that Google decided to skimp out on display on the non-Pro version, just so the Pro version looks more enticing in terms of the display. So the non-Pro has just a flat display without curved edges. It has a 1080p resolution and only 90 Hz refresh rate. Now that 90 Hz refresh rate is the dumbest thing that they have done, considering like it's almost 2023. What are you doing with a 90 Hz display on a $500 phone? So at least they didn't make that mistake here. So at least that's a positive thing here. Now, now that we got a display, let's flip it over and you get the triple camera setup. So we're looking at a main sensor that is a 15 megapixel wide one. Then we got a 48 megapixel telephoto, and we also got a 12 megapixel ultra wide. So you can get really nice close-ups with the telephoto, which is just absolutely stupid. 48 megapixels. 50 megapixel, the wide one, should give you just phenomenal, just normal photos, which usually just use, the wide sensor is used for basically the general photos. And ultra-wide to capture way more of what you see, so just a wider photo in general. I'm not even going to bother showing you this off right here, just because probably anything that I have right here won't even do justice to this camera. So yeah, that's that. Now when it comes down to internals, and the version that I have right here, I have no idea what it is, so let's just quickly check. Indeed, the box doesn't say. Oh, come on. Maybe here? Oh, there we go. So this is 256 gig storage, and that's it basically. And we do have a couple different versions of this. So this is the 256, but at the very basic, version, you have the 128 with 8 gigs of RAM. Then you have 256 with 8 gigs of RAM, and then you can also go back to 120 but have 12 gigs, 256 12 gigs, and 512 12 gigs. I'm actually not sure which one this is, because actually on the box it's not displayed how much RAM this phone comes with. So you know what, I'm just gonna go into the settings and check it out. Though, to be completely honest, 8 or 12 gigs for a phone like this, which isn't just a multitasking beast, really, both of those RAM should be adequate enough to do basically everything that you will throw at the phone. So it shouldn't be much of a problem. Let's actually start brain farting here, or stop and just get to the settings. About phone. Let's quickly just look for it. Where is this? Not here. Not here. Cannot find it. Where is this? Anyway, I'm just gonna disregard it. Whatever it is, like I said, 8 or 12 should be just good enough for this phone without any kind of hassle. Now, this phone is powered by some weird processor. So this is the Google Tensor G2, and the reason I say weird is because I have no idea how well it performs. I haven't done any kind of benchmarks using this processor, so I have zero idea of how well it runs and how well it compares to things like, for instance, the Apple A16 now, or for instance the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 or Gen 1 Plus. So I cannot really tell you anything about it and how good it is. Sorry for that, I guess. But considering this is their Pro version, it should be working pretty decently. And obviously this phone comes at about $800. So for that price tag, you would expect it to be somewhere around the flagship kind of grade. And now, moving away from the actual just internals and stuff like that, I'm gonna just quickly touch upon the software. So at the very first glance, it just looks like a stock Android. Well, technically it is a stock Android. It's Google Pixel, so you would expect Google to make just Android be as stock as it possibly can here. But what it actually also has built into here is a bunch of Google features that you do not have on other devices, at least not as far as I know. So for instance, one of them would be if you have your device locked. I believe you do have to turn that feature on though. When you have your device locked, you can have it so it displays at the bottom what song is playing at all times. If you go into some kind of room where music is playing, you look at your phone, you don't even need to turn on Spotify or anything. Google will automatically tell you what's playing. So you can quickly get a glance at that and have just information about it. Obviously there's a bunch of additional things like voice commands here, so if someone calls you, you don't even need to pick up the phone. You can just say pick up or drop or whatever, and you have a bunch of those implementations for voice commands over the distance, so you don't really need to go grab your phone to interact with it. You can just give it a command and continue to do whatever the heck you are doing, which is quite nice. And obviously one of the other major parts of this phone would be obviously the cameras, which here should be pretty freaking good. Obviously it's a massive improvement over like the previous gen or the one before that, which was running 12 megapixels, and those cameras were still competing with Samsung and Apple. The Apple still had also 12, so I guess that's not really a fair comparison, but yeah, Samsung did have much higher pixel count and could pull up more detail, I assume, from those photos because of it. But Google still, with a 12 megapixel camera, could keep up with these photos. And in terms of color that it produced in the photos, for some people that was like the pinnacle of photos. And I believe that they still keep that same kind of logic right here, and the photos still just completely slap. So yeah. Now with that being said, at the very end of the day, this is another Android device. It comes at around $800. And one thing that I didn't actually mention, I'm trying to finish this video, but I forgot one part right here, which is the battery. So I'm gonna also quickly go over that before I finish it up. So we have a 5000 milliamp hour battery, fast charging of 23 watts, which it's kind of a joke to call it fast charging, to be completely honest. But it apparently charges half of the battery, 50%, in about 30 minutes. At least that's how they're advertising it. We have also fast wireless charging. Now this I would call fast, considering it charges it the same way as wire one does. Begging the question, why do you implement both if both of them charge at the same freaking speed? So pick one. Obviously you don't get a charger in the box, so if you have like already a fast wireless charger, you can utilize that, and honestly you won't be losing any time because they're both charging the phone at the same rate. So there we go. Now with that being said, this would just conclude, I guess, the complete spec list here. So like I wanted to say, this is just another Android device, so if you already have something like a Pixel 6, if you don't need to probably upgrade it, there is no real reason to do so. You might just get a little bit better performance, a little bit better display, and a couple of additional just minute upgrades, but at this moment it's honestly, the market for phones is getting absolutely freaking boring. Every phone looks the same, every phone does the same, and yeah, I'm honestly getting a little bit kind of bored of cell phones, mobile devices, just because they're all literally the same freaking slab of glass that does the same exact thing, just with different flavors and different price tags. And for the most part, those price tags are usually overpriced. Speaking of which, overprices. So yeah. But this device, contrary to what I'm saying, does seem to be hopefully priced adequately if the processor competes with the flagship processors. If it does, $800, it's a good deal. If you're planning to pick up obviously a new phone. Other than that, there's not much more to say about the devices. Like I said, just another uninspiring device in my opinion, in terms of the design. Other than that, it's fine. So with that being said, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.